South's obviously backs against the wall.
Yeah.
Could be 0-3 coming up against the Roosters. You couldn't script that, could you? Jeez. You know.
No.
I'm tipping them.
You're tipping South?
Are you really? It's a huge match for both these teams because the Roosters will drop to 1 and 2 if they lose.
Yeah.
And after last season, the way they started slowly last season, there's a bit of pressure on there as well to have a good year. So there's always seems to be some underlying subplot or drama around this game when they meet each other, doesn't it? And the past week's been ridiculous, the amount of...
what about Albo and I, the only two that have tipped South?
Albo. See, he's loyal. Albo's loyal, mate. Unlike you.
I'm ahead of him in tipping.
But, I mean, I expect...
I'm very competitive, Brent.
I expect Latrell to, given the week he's had, to go bonkers.
Forget Latrell. Can people talk about Cody Walker's form?
You did on 360. You skewered him.
I didn't, but Latrell's copped so much heat. I think Latrell hasn't been too bad to start the year.
He's had a good start of the year.
Well, the stats show with it. Really,
best start in 3 years.
Cody, on the other hand, I think Cody's been poor. Cody looked slow last week, and that's nothing you've been able to say about Cody whatsoever so far this year. Look, he's been an outstanding player for the last couple of years, but if I'm looking at a player that's well down on form that needs to step up, it's the guy in the 6.
That Phil Rothfield Las Vegas nightclub pep talk didn't seem to work for Cody, has it, thus far?
No, not so far, no.
Well,
that's brought him back to earth with a thud.
But you're right, subplots for everything. This is the game that had 7 sin bins. This is the game that, they meet each other at the start and the back end of years and in finals games, and, this is huge, because on the back of everything that Latrell's been facing in the last couple of weeks, now playing his old team, Unfortunately, we don't have Luke Keary on the flip side against his old team, but there's so much. But I was reading Bulldog's story about the potential for sellouts this week, and Joe Kelly saying we're anticipating a crowd of well over 30,000. How the hell is that not selling out? You've got to get 45,000, surely.
It's the most intriguing match of the round.
The most intriguing, and a great place to watch footy.
And Jared's 300th, which has sort of been overlooked in all the hullabaloo this week.
Well, maybe if he did a bit more media around his 300th, or
Well, he had a bit of a chat to us after the game last week. But,
it's a huge game for South because they play Canterbury next week in the Good Friday clash.
You're not could be 2 and 2 if they win.
Well, I think if
they're not going 0 and 4. Are you
declaring that game over, Or
who are you tipping next week, Brent? Then
I don't know.
Were you sort of talking like they were under threat next week against Canterbury if they lose this one?
Yeah, you're saying they could.
No, but I'm saying they can be potentially 1 and 4, 0 and 4, or most likely 2 and 2.
Well, they can't be 1 and 4 because they'll only have played 4 games.
3, or 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Potentially. And then the
season. Who the Roosters got next week while you're looking at that? Can I ask? Because
Penrith. Huge game.
So they could be 1 and 3.
Huge game for the Roosters.
I feel like Jared's been an immense character in this game for a long time, hasn't he?
He's such a good
and in this fixture.
Oh mate, he's got some history in this fixture. It's good. There's going to be such emotion around this game. Well, there always is, right? But I think it's going to be one of those games with it's just another level to it.
Yeah.
Could explode.
Could explode.
It could explode.
Dear
you heard it here first.
Terrell May, is he most improved in the first couple of weeks? I mean, he was good at the end of last season.
Last year, well, yeah.
Jeez, he's just
sort of shot out of nowhere
work rate
too,
and when you're looking at a Roosters side, you're going, okay, they're going to lose Jared soon, and we'll see how he goes with that. They've obviously got Lindsay Smith there. Terrell May's just been
Lindsay Collins.
Lindsay Collins. Lindsay Smith doing well at the other place.
He's a good player, Lindsay Smith.
Yeah. Didn't they? They took their time developing, bringing him through.
He's a good player.
Good player, St Mary's Junior. So, but Terrell May.
Yeah, when Spencer comes back into the fold as well. Young White, they've got some wraps on too. So you got upset when I had a little crack at the Dragons before. What about Terrell May telling the Dragons, thanks but no thanks until I exhaust my options at... Well, I don't think that's an issue. I think he's made it clear that he wants to stay, and if he can get a job done with if he can get a deal done with his incumbent current club, I don't have an issue with that.
No, I think that's fair enough too. I mean,
it's better than stringing him along and saying, and using it as leverage or whatever the case may be. No, I want to get a deal done here, and if I can't get a deal done here, I'll naturally look elsewhere.
You can't begrudge a guy for wanting to stay at his current club if he enjoys life there, and he obviously enjoys life there. Thinks he's getting. You can see he's developing as a footballer, being at the Roosters. So, I'm a bit like Mick. I think at least he's being upfront and honest with them. He's not stringing them along. So I think he's handled it well. I think his agents handled it well.
There's a fair bit of interest that the Roosters, obviously Connor Watson plays for the first time in a long time this week. And Angus Crichton was sensational in New South Wales Cup last week.
Yeah.
I think he laid on 2 tries, just a class above against Blacktown.
That was a good New South Wales Cup team.
It was, yeah.
They're one of the butchers.
Yeah, Egan was there,
Angus.
Connor Watson, Angus, Michael Jennings.
Yeah, it was very good.
It was handy. But on the flip side, Josh Schuster was playing.
Yeah.
And
was he playing?
he looked like he was at that level.
Okay.
Where Angus Crichton looked like he was just 2 classes at least above of everyone else on the field. He had a sensational game.
By the sounds of it, Josh Schuster's a long way of playing first grade again. Yeah.
He needs some time there. He was not good. He led a try in the first try that he led in was pretty bad defensive effort. But Angus, good to see him back on that bench, and really happy for Connor Watson to get back into that 17, and he can have an impact off the bench.
You love Connor Watson, don't you? Because he's on the ABC.
He's a really nice. The poor guy. Like last year, he did a bit of work for us on the ABC. He was on one leg on that wheel thing that you have, and but never was down. Always upbeat and tried to upskill himself in other areas while he was sidelined. And the Roosters have stood by him, gave him a new deal, and it's a shame because he's one of those players, when those rules change, you thought it would have been really suited to his game, and he just hasn't had that luck at the moment. So missed all of last year, but really good person and good to see him back in the squad.
What about the Roosters' 18th man there, Michael Jennings?
Yeah, there was some news around Michael Jennings in SportCon, which would be up by now once we go out, that he's been upgraded already. So he joined the club last year on a train and trial contract, and train and trial means you're not eligible for first grade, I think, until around 11, unless you have NRL permission. But he's impressed in his 2 games, and what that means is they've upgraded him to a top 30 deal. So he could play as early as Friday night now for the Roosters. He's on 298 first grade games, turns 36 next month. So if he does play in the NRL, I think he takes Jared's spot as the oldest player in the game. So I think Jared will be hoping that Michael Jennings does play a first grade game.
You watched that New South Wales Cup game last week, right?
Yeah.
Did he play?
He played okay. He was outside Angus, which is a pretty handy combination. He didn't look like... I was on air while I was watching it, so I wasn't watching it as diligently as I would a normal game. But
so the games you're getting paid for, you don't really pay attention to much, or what were you saying?
No, but I wasn't like but when I wasn't covering that game,
know,
so it's different. But Crichton looked world class, like it's so good. And Jennings had a line break. I think he made a line break and threw an errant pass, but he looked like he still had some speed. Okay. But that Roosters backline's handy with all the players they got there. So I can't see him. He's a backup at best. He'll play first grade at some stage this year, though.
So do you reckon he's been for over 3 years now? He's been stuck on 298 first grade games. Do you reckon he'll get to 300 then?
I think so. I'm going to back him in. Yeah.
Well, the fact he's 18th man this week suggests he's knocking on the door, right? They're looking at the opportunity to give him a game. So I reckon he'll get there as well.
They've got Billy Smith not in that.
He's back this week though.
He's in the extended bench.
Too.
He's behind that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I think he'll play at some stage.
He needs injuries.
They'll probably lose only Teddy to Origin.
Yeah. Of that backline.
Backline?
Yeah.
You're not backing in Daniel Tupou?
No.
I'm not sure. He's a chance. Well, he's definitely a chance. But he skipped. I think he might have retired from rep football. Didn't I write that? I think we wrote that he's retired from rep football, or was considering retiring from rep football because he didn't attend that Badgers pre-season camp. So so they're not going to be ravaged during Origin, but an injury or two, I'd say he gets 2 games out this year.
I think he'll get 2. They'll find a way.